it is my commitment to the President and his deputy hub for manufacturing and export in every county, in all the 47 counties. And we're going to start any time now with the county of Embu, where we are working with the governors. This area also of we have a national government and private sector and the county government. You know, the Monarchy does not care for that. So we want to work as a team. I am mobilizing the council of governors to give us the land. We are going to mobilize resources to put up the hubs and link them also to you guys who have got experience. And create these hubs, not just in Kenya, but in other countries. I want to promise you by end of first quarter, the next year, who export to the DRC, you are going to send your products to the first Kenya warehouse in DRC. So that goods are going, Kenyan goods will be distributed locally within DRC. And I'm talking about this. Somebody from Nyeri. How do you expect a peasant from state to create an infrastructure, both from county level all the way to the export market, where we can be able to link this? Well, we want you to join us in this. As I finish, let me mention a few things. One is about the business environment. I know what you are going through in terms of your tax refunds, and I want to do something about it. And I have the support of the President and the Deputy President to have this conversation. Now we are just going for the KRA Taxpayers Week. We are going to continue this conversation. Two things will happen on the issue of tax refunds. Either we net off from the beginning so nobody owes the other, or we streamline the process of refunds. There's no other way about it. Girls, I also want us to look at that guy in PC who cannot get to the K.A.M offices. So in this regard, we will soon be launching a business environment reporting portal where every business person in the remote parts of this country can be able to that they don't have problems. They also have problems. So I want that person in Muranga to say that they applied for Kenya Power Connection for 3 phase. It is now 1 month. And we will be reporting in the media every month who is being reported. Is it the county government of Nairobi? Is it the Ministry of Kenya Power? This self-reporting is the only way we are going to fix the issue of business and environment. We are not going to fix business and environment by having cement. It is only by enabling Kenyans, manufacturers, traders, exporters to do habari so that you can be able to know what you are doing. Let me finish by saying that we cannot, whereby we want to grow by just being importing. I will shock you. And I was looking for my good friend, my favorite friend, Vimal Shah, to ask him what his budget for water in Bidco is, but just for drinking, for stuff. And I'll shock Vimal, I didn't get you on time. You are late, so I noticed. But I want to say that I suspect the budget for Bidco for water, I will not even ask Jane, because I'm sure Jane is much higher. But the budget of Bidco for water is higher than the government of Kenya budget for promoting exports. So you're manufacturing here and you expect us to help you to export. The budget for Kenya for exports through our Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency for this year is a whopping 46. I'm saying 46 without saying what. Because when I told Rebecca it's 46, he asked me billion. Reality is it's 46 million shillings. We have only 18 trade attaches to market what you are producing. We are just surviving by the grace of God. So the issue of export promotion, kama unataka tuwe marafiki, we have to have a that conversation. And I have looked at measures I'm discussing with the Kenya Bureau of Standards, and I'm discussing with KRA and with Treasury, that every importer will have to chip in I will be proposing to Parliament subject our local fees for, okay, we lower our fees for local destination inspection. I want to suggest to Parliament with Cabinet approval that we lower that, but that reduction I'll compensate it through an export development levy so that we get money to, not for me or for government of Kenya, your own export. I don't want you just to think that export is your business. It's our business. It's our foreign exchange. It's our jobs. It's our country competitiveness. But all of us have to chip in doing that. I know that is not very popular with some of you, but you cannot have your cake and eat it also. You cannot want to grow exports and you don't want, somebody has to pay. There's no free lunch. Somebody has to pay for it. So that's a discussion again I wanted to have because it's for your own good. It's for your own competitiveness. It's for your own, Finally, I hope Vimar, you'll take this opportunity to tell us when you are going to list on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The president is still asking me, is your friend, did he give a commitment? Because the last time you met, you said that you are going to list at the NSC one day. And he's still asking me, maybe Vimar told you when that day came and whatever. So thank you very much. And I want now to, before I invite my colleague, the CS, my twin, I'm calling him my twin because he's my twins and cooperatives, the one who is in charge of your customers. We have divided our work also between me and Cherugui. So me, I'm looking after you, and Cherugui is looking after your customers, who are the SMEs and the guy at the bottom of the pyramid, Mr. Hasler's Fund, Simon Cherugui. And I also want to recognize the guy who took over from me as a member of parliament. Honorable Kagombe is here, is somewhere. He's here with us. And I brought him here to show you that there's nothing wrong with succession. If it is your personal, and also even in your business. That's why I'm asking Vimar to list on the NSC. Even if we will not die, we will go on safari. So we need to prepare for that eventuality. Now, finally, before I call Chelgu, I want to thank my boss, the Deputy President, and the President for giving us this opportunity to serve in the government. Some of Vimal, Rainas have said I've been keeping them on their toes. It's because I decided to start working immediately I was nominated. I was actually telling the President yesterday, I'm due for 2 leave days. Because I've been working for 1 month. So, Your Excellency, when you come to calculating leave, please call my colleague, the Honorable Simon Cherugui, to make his remarks and invite the Deputy President. And for those of you who may have listened to the dangerous propaganda that I never went to school, Simon Cherugui was with me at university. So he's my living witness. Thank you very much.
Our Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, my colleagues, Honorable the Chair, Kansi Jen, Kansi Bimal Shah, and many, many more in the room. Good morning, Excellency. I'm sorry, I got this invitation about 7:45. And you know, as you, with the celebrations we had following your kind consideration yesterday, Your Excellency, we had a long night and a long day yesterday. So when I got this invitation from Mr. Abdul Mwasera, I told him I'll just dress up very fast and rush. So I'm sorry, Your Excellency. I want to believe next time Kenya Association of Manufacturers, whom I realize they don't have my number, Your Excellency, I will share with them here so that in future I'll be the one receiving you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, it's an honor, a great honor, that we are beginning our administration by engaging the anchors of our economy, the manufacturers. Your Excellency, we have 1,300 members of Kenya Association of Manufacturers, and 60% are micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your Excellency, the mandate you've given me and the President is to mentor, prepare, create, and support the micro, the small, and the medium enterprises to grow into big enterprises. We have cases in our books, in our country, Hako Industries, nice and lovely. They are all incubated as small enterprises, Garuku Foods, and they have now grown to multinationals. And it is from those examples that we believe, as a new administration, that we can create value, we can help organizations to grow, and in the process, create jobs, create wealth, and grow our GDP, expand our tax base, and make a country better. So, Your Excellency, I want to commit here with a new focus on micro, small, and medium enterprises, together with the Hustler Fund, which is going to begin in earnest. We're going to have a major engagement from tomorrow with the MNOs, the mobile companies, the banks who have the product to support macro, small, and medium. And now the government, those who facilitate this group of people. We're going to begin tomorrow, so that immediately, even before the date the President announced on the 1st of December, we will be ready. We will begin by enumerating, beyond the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, we want to go national, so that anybody who has an idea can be assisted to start an enterprise. We have over 15 million Kenyans who are commonly called hustlers. We want to graduate them to businessmen, from hustling to businessmen. And that can only begin by a clear, defined focus on them. After enumeration, we will group them into chamas, into SACCOs, into cooperatives. And then we do capacity building. I want to invite you, the big brothers of small and micro, to support in mentoring the upcoming businesses in capacity building. So we will have a robust training, how to open an account, how to do business, to keep records, because we will graduate them to bigger businesses. After that, we will now discuss about finance, the fourth stage. So if East African breweries can maybe say, or your former employer, CS, Kengen, can say we will train Kiambu County, we will train Turkana County, we will support you in training Kisumu County, small and micro. Contribute something towards that assignment. Then we can invite Bidco Industries, can say we will train Machakos, we will facilitate a forums where we will mentor this small upcoming. Then we release the money. The fourth stage will be finances, and we will do it through SACCOs, through mobile companies. And then beyond that now is the very important stage. After funds have gone, we believe these fellows will go into agribusiness, some will go to small trading. They will need markets. And that's why we are joined in the hip with my schoolmate, Moses Kuria. We will need to create markets for this production. We'll need to harness collective production. As we speak now, mangoes, for example, are produced in Kwale. They are produced in Makueni. They are produced in Kitui. And they don't know their quantities, their total production. So what we need to do now as a ministry is to collectively put together all that and check whether we can process them or we can export them. This is what corporates are doing. They are producing in bulk and they are able to negotiate better markets, better prices, better inputs. We will revive KFA to support cooperatives, Kenya Farmers Association, so that we can afford, we can avail quality farm inputs at the in the communities, in Karatina, in Nyeri, in Meru, in Eldoret, fertilizers, they distribute fertilizers. And some of you are already involved as bigger manufacturers in some of these things, so that we avail these inputs at the bottom. We will also need to partner. If you feel philanthropic enough, you can support the Hustler Fund. So we will create a Hustler Fund that even accepts support from corporates as a CSR, from multinationals who want to support the small enterprises as a CSR. Some of them are your producers, your raw material producers. The wheat, the barley for breweries. We need to invest in those farmers in Narok. The tobacco fellows in Western Kenya, we will give them some little money, they produce more tobacco, and that becomes your input. So we are working with Moses, because my output is his input. And I will ask him now to look for markets. We now have excess milk. 70% of our milk is produced by cooperatives. 70% of our coffee is produced by cooperatives. How do we make that coffee tree in Kiambu, owned by Dumberi or Komodai, or a society in Kisi? The tree of coffee is now producing 2 kilos. How do we prepare the plant, put some inputs to now give us 7 kilos like we used to be? How do we streamline governance, which is a big issue in cooperatives, so that farmers can earn what they really work for? We've made our farmers toil for nothing. So we need to invest in governance, na tutalete kiboko. I remember the days of Alfred Briggen, when cooperatives were really cooperatives. That is where we need to go, so that we bring order and farmers can begin to enjoy. So with those many remarks, Your Excellency, it is a very exciting assignment. It is an assignment that touches lives, it changes lives, and I will be happy to assist and handle this assignment as you have given to me by yourself and the President, and I will work diligently to ensure we onboard as many Kenyans as possible to the mainstream of our economy. So with those remarks, I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished businesses here, to be upstanding as we welcome our Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, Your Excellency, Deputy President.
Thank you. Kindly be seated. I'll be very brief because we have another function with the President on tax. Cabinet Secretary is present, senior government officials, Board Chairman of K.A.M, Mr. Raju, K.A.M board members, CEO Anthony Mwangi, K.A.M members, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to be here this morning as we join responsibility as an action towards ensuring we leave no one behind is the innermost part of our humanity. It is our responsibility to be our brother's keepers. Close to 60 years of independence, we should not be where we are as a nation. At independence, we had the promise to fight and defeat poverty, disease, and ignorance. This is not the Kenya our forefathers envisioned of the 21st century. Today, an estimated 4.3 million Kenyans in 3 arid and semi-arid counties are food insecure. Among the affected are 900,000 children under 5 years, 120,000 expectant women and lactating mothers who require urgent nutritional support. Further, 2.5 million livestock died as a big loss to the economy. That is why we have met you today as part of our immediate response partners in alleviating the strain. This is, however, a short-term measure. The dire situation we are in calls for robust, sustainable, and long-lasting solutions to drive Kenya into an agricultural powerhouse. This is because we have a lot of land suitable for crop and animal production into surplus. When we reach the surplus production, it will support our economy beyond the current contribution of 22.4% to the GDP, while creating more than 40%. One of the ways of surmounting the food crisis is bringing more of the cultivatable land under irrigation as envisioned in our manifesto. We must no longer rely on rain-fed agriculture amid threats of climate change and other calamities like locust invasions. We have a clear strategy drawing from our manifesto on revolutionizing and modernizing agriculture. This is one of the first assignments of the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, the Honorable Mithika Linturi. As a government, we set a lot of potential in smart agriculture. There is no reason the manufacturers cannot invest in the sector. Indeed, the next Kenyan billionaires will be from the agricultural sector. In addition, we are keen to enhance value addition for agricultural produce. This is also in line with our commitment of tapping into manufacturing to win the country off or reduce the minimum importation for consumption. This will reduce dependence on foreign markets, which are subject to manipulation and other erratic geopolitical situations, like the war in Ukraine, for the benefit of our people. To this end, we are devoted to supporting the incredible commitments made by the local manufacturers last week during the high-level meeting on Manufacturing Vision 2030, attended by His Excellency President William Ruto. While at it, we were particularly impressed by the manufacturing small and medium enterprises, SMEs, who demonstrated their ingenuity and innovations. They are very promising. We need to incorporate them into mainstream production. They are part of the answer to food security. Ladies and gentlemen, we have these hopes against knowledge that over the last few years, the manufacturing sector has experienced negative growth, especially between 2016 and 2020. This was further exacerbated by COVID-19 pandemic. I'm optimistic that the conducive business environment the Kenya Kwanza government is cultivating will revitalize and allow for a bounce back. We must collectively back this sector into an upward trajectory. Together, we shall strengthen quality control of domestically manufactured goods based on research and innovations to raise our share in the sub-regional, regional, and global markets. This is how we shall be equal partners in the global arena. In this regard, I challenge the Kenya Association of Manufacturers to scale up manufacturing by exploring public-private partnership model and other opportunities. With such investments, we'll be creating social equity, reducing inequality, and alleviating poverty. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, at a time when the cost of basic commodities has hit a historic high, we must urgently collaborate for a better tomorrow by investing more in sustainable, smart agriculture to defeat climate change for a stronger society. As a wind-up, allow me to reflect on the report of UNEP of 2021, which indicated that on average, every Kenyan wastes 99 kgs of food every year. This is about 5.2 million metric tons a year. This is despite the ravaging famine as millions of our people starve. This report is a reminder to generosity and recycling of food. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to the Kenya Association of Manufacturers and her members for supporting the country at this time of need. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much. I just want to buttress what the Honorable Moses Kuria thought, that the way to go to support and facilitate enterprise. Government cannot be a stumbling block to investment, to manufacturing, to enterprise. President William Ruto has given a policy direction, and shortly I'll be convening a meeting of all our civil servants at the senior levels to give them in black and white the new policy direction. We must bring to an end bureaucracy and red tape in matters investment and entrepreneurship. Officers of government, the public sector, their role will be to support the private sector to enhance, expedite investments in this country. We want less and less government in PIPs and more services to the people of Kenya. And we'll tell our civil servants, they'll have to align very quickly to give service to the drivers of the economy, including you seated here, the manufacturing sector. Our solution is to reduce bureaucracy in employment. And officers of government are not going to stand on your way. We are looking at issues of multiple licenses. You go to an office and you cannot tell the original color of the wall because of the number of licenses hanging on the wall. Isn't that the situation? That must come to an end. And we also must make it easy through the online platform. You don't have to go to the county government of Nairobi, I don't know to which office, to look for a license. These are things that we must do very quickly, and we must collapse all these licensing into one that makes sense. Number two, we have told the Kenya Revenue Authority, and I believe, is there a deputy commissioner here from KRA? You are here. Sit down, listen here and listen good. Taxpayers are your dairy cow. Those who have done farming. For a cow to produce milk, you have to be very nice to the cow. You have to give it some hay, give it some dairy meal, milk it with some good oil so that it's feeling good. And the Europeans go even a step further. They play country music to cows to produce milk. We have told KRA to look after taxpayers the way you look after a good dairy cow to continue producing milk. There is no cow that will produce milk when you are pricking it and shouting at it. It will refuse with the milk. We have told KRA to create a friendly tax regime. The issue of closing factories for taxpayers who are suffering is a thing of the past because it is foolish. The issue of tax notices and agency notices, where you close accounts. If you shut down an account for 6 months, somebody cannot do business. Where will you collect tax the following year for the benefit of the country? When you shut down a factory, those employees go home, they lose their jobs. They were paying payee. Where will you get the money from? I've repeatedly given the example of African Distillers factory in Thika, owned by Humphrey Kariuki. That factory was paying about 50 million Kenya shillings in terms of tax every month. They sent DCI there, policemen, shut it down, arrested Humphrey Kariuki, a very enterprising Kenyan, an honorable man, a man who has toiled through his life, locked him up for 4 days with ordinary criminals, shut down the factory, and KRA lost 50 million every month. For 3 years, we have lost a whooping 1.8 billion, money that we need for this country. It was a foolish decision, and such things will never happen in the Ruto administration. They will never happen again. Because all any sensible tax collector would have done is to say, look here, you are paying 50 million per month, but in our assessment, you need to pay 100. Can we discuss how you pay 100? But in the meantime, continue working and giving us a 50, because we need it. Now you shut it down, then what happens? Same has happened across everywhere. This will not happen again. The president is on record asking everybody to pay tax, and we want everybody to pay tax. But we want to collect the tax in a dignified manner. The president has set the pace for this country, that his style of management, and all of us are following suit, is continuous engagement. Once you engage, you enrich your thinking. Nobody has monopoly of knowledge. Not the president, not myself, not Moses Kuria, not anybody. Nobody has monopoly of knowledge. Let us have continuous engagement. I want to assure you, ladies and gentlemen, what Moses Kuria has started, this continuous engagement, is a new style of managing this country, and will never go wrong. And I'm very happy, at least when I was appointed running mate, the press was all over demonizing me, until I was given an opportunity, 90 minutes with Mother Karoa, and I would have up. Yeah? And for those who thought I never went to school, ask Linus Gitai, you were together in university. At least I have a witness. We were together at the University of Nairobi. We know one or two things. We don't know much. We are just the average. We know a few things. Others were saying, oh, the government of William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua is a government of thieves. They'll steal everything from the manufacturers, and the balance they will give to the hustlers. As we are people who know how to create wealth, we have come from scratch and grown through, and we know how important it is to allow Kenyans who are hard-working to grow wealth. And that is what President William Ruto and the rest of us will do, to give any hard-working Kenyan an opportunity to grow wealth. And Kenyans are enterprising people. And Raju, your chairman, can give testimony. I did some business with him 15 years ago. And it was a good business. You know, I'm an honest man. At least we had a good business. Because, you know, people were just talking. And when Linus Gitai, you talk about time, that this government is keeping time. It's not us. It's the leader. Let me tell you what happens. The problem of Africa and for this country is one of leadership. Once the leader of the nation sets the pace, everybody else is aligned. So if President William Ruto is keeping time, how will his deputy not keep time? How will Moses Kuria not keep time? The president has led by example, and he has told us that in his administration, if you ever hears anybody under him who kept business people waiting for 30 minutes, that is the head of your job. Because you people are entrepreneurs. You are creators of wealth. If you are here 200 people and I keep you here for 30 minutes, what is the loss to the economy? And I'm just one person. Why would one person keep 200 people waiting? It is the kind of arrogance, the kind of ineptitude, the kind of lack of discretion in the previous administration that has brought this economy to its knees. And that is why there is a paradigm shift in the management style by giving respect to entrepreneurs, by giving respect to creators of wealth. Because the only way to sort out this country is to support and facilitate you guys to wealth and create employment opportunities. So for the next 5 years, you are the guys working, waiting. Us will be here on time. Whatever we agree with it, we'll be there on time. And it has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with Moses Kuria. is our leader, President William Ruto, has set the pace. He has said the way he wants anybody under him to work, and now it's just to follow. And I can tell you the problems of this country. Nobody cheats you. That is lack of water. It is corruption. It is poor work ethics. No, the problem is one of leadership. Once you get the right guy in office to set the pace and to give a clear outline on how management of this country will be done, 50% of our problems are over. And I want to assure you, in another 6 months, this economy will start picking. In another 6 months, you people will be happy that officers of government will be your supporters and facilitators. You will be happy to work with the government. You will be very happy to work with the government. Finally, I want to say thank you very much for calling us here to give us help. This is a very unfamiliar situation for us. Those of us who are hardworking, this thing of begging is a very painful. It's very painful. And but the situation the way it is, we have to look around. But at least I'm happy I never came to beg you, you looked for me. So at least you dignified me. So I feel much better. Why we have asked Red Cross to come, we want you to give your food and money to Red Cross because they have integrity, they have got a good name, they are transparent. Those of us in government, our name is not very good, but we are going to make it better along the way. So we don't want to touch your money for now. In another 1 year, you'll give money to me. When we prove ourselves that we are good people, we are transparent, we are open. Why we want Red Cross to handle these donations? They'll sit with us in the office, we agree on where. Because there are also some areas that traditionally have always been supported, but there are other areas that are having a serious crisis, but they have not been there in the record. So we'll sit with the Red Cross and agree. Why we want Red Cross to handle your donation is to give the food in a dignified manner. Because even if people are suffering, there is no need to take them through in dignity because you are helping them. And why I love working with the Red Cross is that they know the beneficiaries, they pack the food in a nice packet of so many kilos for a family, and we hand over that food to a family in a dignified manner, such that even if people are struggling, we don't make the situation worse by making them go through a harrowing experience of struggling and fighting for their food and scrabbling for it. So we'll be sitting down with Red Cross to agree on the areas we want to target, and we'll work with our government officials and other leaders to go there and flag off the food donations and give it a bit of publicity and talk about you people, because sometimes people do good things. It is very necessary that Kenyans know who have done a good thing. It's good. We must give you credit you have done. So we will not just give the food quietly. We will say what our manufacturers have done. But going ahead, we can't do this again. In another 5 years, let's have enough food for everybody. Let's dignify the Kenyan people. Finally, foreign policy, we are having a paradigm shift. We are having a paradigm shift. We are saying that our focus to turn around this economy is increased productivity in all sectors, manufacturing, agriculture, all. Increased productivity must go in tandem with enhanced market. Because if you produce more and there is no market, it's an exercise in futility. The ambassadors and high commissioners we are going to appoint across the globe, we have a new job for them. 70% of their job will be to look for new markets and enlarge existing markets. And we are going to sign all of them a contract, an MOU for 2 years, with the figures. How many tons of coffee you gonna sell to America? How much tea are you going to sell to Pakistan? How many tons of miraa will you take to Somalia? And if they don't, you just come back home and hustle with us around here. That is the way. Na sisi hatucheki na mtu, because sisi, we have a contract with the people of Kenya. 5-year contract, renewable on performance, terminated on non-performance. We have no intention of going home. We have no such intention. We have no intention. Our intention is to get our contract renewed. And anybody who starts on our way, tutapita na yeye. Because we must perform. And you people are lucky. We gave you our best, Moses Kuria. Our best, our finest. Our finest. Please, make use of him. Moses Kuria is passionate about matters investment. That's why we created a Ministry for Trade, Industry and Investment. Age is on his side. He has passion, he has zeal, and God has given him a good brain. What God has given Moses Kuria must count for something for this country. And please work with him. And already he has started even before he was sworn in. You know, he's a guy who is self-driven. He's like a wheelbarrow with a big wheel. You just lift it, it starts moving. So make use of him. The Honorable Chelugui is our guy in the Hustler Fund, the flagship of our campaign. And we have trust that he will not let us down. You know, people are talking badly about the Hustler Fund. Oh, this Hustler Fund is for the hustlers. What about us, manufacturers and the middle class? The manufacturers are the greatest beneficiary of the Hustlers Fund, because the hustlers have no factory of their own. These hustlers are retailers. They have to buy the products somewhere, from somewhere. This 50 billion a year, about 30 billion will come to you. So the Hustler Fund is your fund. It's only that these are the guys are the go-between the money and yourself. The hustlers are here. And some people are not getting the connection about the Hustlers Fund and the whole economy. It is bringing money to the bottom of the pyramid. And you will find that it will expand the tax bracket. We'll get many more people paying tax, little, but when you add up, it's a lot of money. So once the Hustler Fund is launched on 1st of December, in 2-3 months, and you'll tell me, you will feel the impact. Because these people are your customers, and they'll come to you. And therefore, you'll find it is a nice economic stimulus package to stimulate the economy. Paying bills, we are paying bills of 500 billion. And I know you are feeling the heat when people are not paid, and these are your customers. We are working on a package on how to put the money together so that we pay all those who worked for government, so that all the stored projects can restart once more, and we have some money circulating in the economy. Once we have some money circulating in the economy, all of us will feel it. So finally, I want to echo the President's request. Please pay your taxes. Don't wait for us to push you around. We need the money to give you services, to build roads, to connect electricity, to have water provision, to give you security. We need the money. Please pay your taxes. CS Rebecca has been in the energy sector. We got her from there. She has a lot to do with you because she's on the East African community issues, which have a lot to do with you. She's also dealing with our ASAL program. And we saw staff from that area of her competence, and we are sure that she'll add value to our government and to the people of Kenya. So I want to thank you very much for your. So that makes us partners. We are very serious people. And together we're going to turn around this country. And we're going to change this country in our lifetime. Give Kenyans a chance. Create the right environment for people to do business. Able and facilitate Kenyans. That is the solution to our problems. And that will happen You have the commitment from our president all the way down. And know our people will be aligned along the way to have the thinking of the president, that the way to go is to support entrepreneurship, is to support investment, is to support manufacturing, is to allow anybody who is enterprising to excel. Let us give everybody a chance to achieve your best. Give everybody a chance to see what you can do for yourself and for your motherland. And I'm sure working together, we're gonna make great strides and we're gonna go places. Sasa, Madam Karuku, muko na pesa?
Sure. Just go.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm being told that now I want to stand far. Just remove that because he needs to just hand over. So sorry. Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, CSS. I think Honorable Moses Kuria forgot to belong to that country where there is no drought, where we are not begging for food, where there is no government bureaucracy. It must be a nice blue passport. So we wanted to recognize everybody who is here today. With us, we have about 101 donations, companies represented here. It was a Harambe, so we had hoped you'd shake all their hands, but I don't want you to get fired. Because I'm told I have to, you gave me until, huh? Yeah, we could have, because Lab and Allied, Cosmos, Rigathi, Pharmaceuticals, and Del Monte. If you're here, very quickly with your checks, I want to encourage them so they can bring more. And by the way, these are weeks old activity. Say how much you're bringing. If you have a dummy check, you do it very quickly. You take your, it's a photo moment. So none of those is coming. So I got Del Monte. Yeah, Del Monte is here. As Del Monte is doing that, Tropical Brands, Mini Bakeries, very quickly. So off you go. Who's next? Tropical, are you ready? It's first come, first serve. Yeah, if you're here, just go. Yeah, you don't have a ticket. 600,000. Apex Steel, Tononoka Steels. Next. 500,000. 600,000. Okay. United Millers, DPL, Safar Group, Coca-Cola bottles, butter shoes. You come. Mabati Rolling Mills, 1 million shillings. CKL, Mushai, Deloitte East Africa, Jetlag Foods,